my stream working yet? Yeah, there it goes. Alright, welcome to Rambo, First Blood. Here's a box for this thing. There's Rambo, the board game, and then there's First Blood. First Blood is solo. The rest of it, which is, there's a lot more to Rambo, the board game. It's for 1 to 4 players. Get that out of the way. Okay, so, wait, is this streaming? Says it is. Alright, Rambo, the board game, First Blood. This first time trying this game out. So, hopefully I get it all right. I read through the rule book a couple times. So, should be good. And we have the mission book. Now, with this thing, you just play right on the mission book. Like, here's mission 2, booking and processing. You just play right on here. In the game for Rambo 2 and 3, well, Rambo First Blood Part 2 and Rambo 3, on that one you have tiles you lay out and you play on, and you get a much bigger surface to play on. But yeah, this, you just play right on the book. So, yeah, well, we'll consult the rule book if we need it, but we'll just set that aside for now. Alright, so we have some decisions to make, we have some story, and then that'll take us into a mission. It's 1982. You, John J. Rambo, have just come home from the war, and you're not getting the heroic welcome you expected. You're greeted by protesters at the airport who boo, spit on you, throw rotten food, and call you names like baby killer and fascist. You walk from the airport confused and demoralized. With no one to call on, you hitchhike your way to Washington State, where you hope to find the only living friend you have left, Delmar Berry. When you arrive at his house, his mother greets you. She gives you the grave news. Delmar has died from Agent Orange-induced cancer. That sucks. He was the last person you knew from Nam, the last of your entire unit. Danforth, Messner, Jorgensen, Ortega, and now Delmar Berry, all dead. You are utterly alone. With an empty heart, you move on down the road. You wander without a true destination, simply heading north. On your journey, you pass through the Gateway to Holiday Land, a Welcome to Hope sign on the roadside that marks the borders of Hope, Washington. You head into town, hoping there's somewhere to grab a quick meal. Unknown to you, Will Teasel, the sheriff of Hope, has just started making his rounds in his patrol car. He comes across a disheveled drifter, interpreting that wrong. Alright. He comes across a disheveled drifter, obviously a Nam vet, walking down the road. He pulls over in front of you, blocking your path. Morning. You visiting someone around here?
No.
You know, wearing that flag on your jacket, looking the way you do, you're asking for trouble around here, friend. You don't respond. Are you headed north or south?
North.
Jump in. I'll make sure you're headed in the right direction. You reluctantly get into the car, and the sheriff starts driving through town, straight past the diner you were heading toward. Where are you heading?
Portland.
Portland south. You said you were headed north.
You got some place I can eat around here?
There's a diner about 30 miles up the highway.
Is there a law against me getting something to eat here?
Yeah, me.
Why are you pushing me?
What did you say?
I said, why are you pushing me? I haven't done anything to you.
First of all, you don't ask the questions around here. I do, understand? Secondly, we don't want guys like you in this town. Drifters. First thing you know, we got a whole bunch of guys like you in this town. That's why. Besides, you wouldn't like it here. This is a quiet little town. In fact, you might say it's boring. But that's the way we like it. And I get paid to keep it that way. Boring. The sheriff pulls onto the shoulder on the other side of town and flips his police lights on. Portland, straight ahead. If you want some friendly advice, get your hair cut and take a bath. You wouldn't get hassled so much. Hope this ride helped you out. Have a nice day. Alright, now we have two options. So it says, Rambo, what do you do? First option, disobey orders, about face, and march back through town to the diner where you were headed. Other option, this town isn't for you. You don't want any more trouble. Continue walking down the long road. Hopefully you'll make it to that diner before dark, the one that's 30 miles away. So, choose the first option, we read A, I'm hungry. Choose the second option, we read B, move along. Well, that one doesn't follow the movie. What happens if we pick that? Alright, option B, move along. You continue down the road for a while, and eventually, after about 6 hours of walking, you make it to a rundown roadside diner. You grab some coffee and eggs and talk up another vet at the counter. He tells you about a job you can get on a horse farm down in Arizona. Says that's the way he's heading. He offers to take you down there if you help him with his truck along the way. After all of this war, it sounds like the perfect place to start your new life. You hitch a ride with your new friend and get a motel near the horse farm. Within a few weeks, you're self-sustaining. You still wake up every night from the nightmares of Nam, but at least your job allows you to run a peaceful daily routine. Where's the fighting? A few years later, your old CO, Sam Troutman, finds you on the farm and asks you to come back with him to Nam to find some POWs. Oh, there's your fighting. They're still being held by the Vietnamese. You finally had a chance to settle down with your new girlfriend and her daughter, so you decide to kindly refuse Troutman and send him on his way. Oh, no fighting. You live out your days happily on the farm until your girlfriend's daughter goes to Mexico, but that's another story. It's a long road, game over. Oh, well. Hey, there you go, beat the game. It says, nothing is over.
Nothing's over. Nothing.
Play again. I guess they want you to follow the movie. Alright, well, let's not pick that option. Okay, we'll go with option A, I'm hungry. Option A, I'm hungry. Alright, so Teasel dropped off Rambo and says, yeah, 30 miles up the road there's a diner. But Rambo says, nope, I'm hungry. Your blood boils, your stomach growls, and you decide you've had enough. You turn and walk straight back toward the podunk little town to get some grub. Sheriff Teasel immediately flashes his lights and drives back toward you. Where the hell do you think you're going? I'm talking to you, damn it. He climbs out of the car and scrambles after you. Let's see some ID. He tenses up when you don't respond. All right, you're under arrest. Put your hands on the car. When you make no move, he puts a hand on his gun. You and your hands on that car and you spread them. You're going to put your hands on that car. How you do it, you decide right now. All right, option again. Two options. First option is you panic and strike out at the closest thing to you. Okay, other option is you comply with Teasel's orders. So, haven't watched First Blood in a while. he just cooperates, right? He doesn't fight back here. So we're going to go with continue reading A2, be calm. So you comply with Teasel's orders. All right, A2, be calm. You slowly approach the car and put your hands on the hood. He arrests you and pats you down, disarming you of your knife. Then he cuffs you and puts you in the back of the car. Turn to mission 2, booking and processing on page 6. All right, so now we get a mission. Mission 2. So we don't get to do mission 1. All right, mission 2. Now, let me get that rule book out. 2, prepare for a mission. Mission setup, yeah. First we find the mission. It says to prepare the enemy track. So on here we see we'll have junior deputies. So we need the junior deputy cards, and we have Deputy Galt. Now, if there's room, we can just put them on here. Or they can go wherever. All right, and every A is a junior deputy. Junior deputy just gets these 3 little markers. And Deputy Galt, well, we get the one that looks like Deputy Galt. That would be this one. He goes right here on B. Okay. Now, we prepare the enemy track, place the enemies, place Rambo. Rambo starts here at Hero Start. Place the map tokens. We have 4 points of interest. Point of interest 3, 1, 4, and 2. Oh, and just to get an idea of the other part of the game, that's Rambo, well, it's the second and third movies. I mean, this one only has 5 little character tokens, including Rambo. Well, here's the bag for the other 2 movies. A whole lot more characters and stuff in there. So yeah, that game's a lot longer. And so I guess this is technically a prequel to it, because I think Rambo, the board game, yeah, that's the main part. But it's not really an expansion, because this plays all by itself. So it's a, standalone expansion, whatever. All right, but we're playing it in chronological order. Okay, so place Rambo, place a map token, set the battlefield condition. So we start at round 1. Okay, prepare the hero board. So that's over here. There's really nothing to do with that right now. Okay, and then we would remove 1 wound, it says, if we had any wounds, but first mission, he's not wounded yet. We prepared gear. Well, we don't have any gear yet, but the gear cards are up there. We don't have any. Prepare the tactics deck. We have the tactics deck. We shuffle that up and draw 2 tactics cards, it says. So we have your worst nightmare and kill 'em all. Okay, and then we read briefing and start mission. So here's the one part I'm not sure about, because I didn't look through any of the story stuff or anything, but I did glance through the missions, because, except for mission 1, which I already went past. No, I don't want to turn back to it, because I've already set this stuff up. Everything other than mission 1 has a Rambo setup where it says heal 1 wound and draw 1 or 2 tactics cards. Now, in the rule book, it says before you even start a mission, before you even look at this stuff and do what it says, you draw 2 tactics cards and you heal 1 wound. But then every mission except for the first, which makes sense because you haven't done a mission yet, it doesn't tell you to heal a wound. I can't remember if it says to draw a tactic card or not, but every other one says heal 1 wound. Mission 3 says that, 4, however many there are, they all say heal 1 wound. So according to that, you're supposed to heal 2 wounds, but that sounds like it's probably a little too easy. I don't know. I'm not going to do what this says. Or I'm not going to heal a wound again. Now, they all say draw 1 or 2 tactics cards, whereas in the rule book it says before you get to here you draw 2. So Either you're only supposed to start with 1 or 2, or you're supposed to start with 3 or 4. I don't know. So, in the rule book, it just says draw 2, but these are not all the same, so I don't know. I'm going to start with 2 and then do what that says. Although I guess if I'm doing that, I really should be healing 2 wounds. But, well, we'll see how it goes. I looked around on Board Game Geek, didn't see anything about clarifying that rule, but that might be because the game's still pretty new. I pre-ordered it and just got it, so, well, we'll see. Okay, so let's see, what do we have now? Briefing. Sheriff Teasel drives back to the station with you in tow. The deputies drag you from the squad car into the station and book you, mocking your dog tags and disheveled look. Head Deputy Arthur Galt plays with your knife, cutting some sheets of paper with it, then taking it into evidence lockup down the hall from the holding cells. Sheriff Teasel orders his men to clean you up for court on Monday, then heads back out to finish up his rounds. Deputy Mitch moves you about the station. Looks like the plan is to lock you up for the weekend. The deputies throw you in a cell, force you to strip down, and hose you down with a cold fire hose. Deputy Galt takes the opportunity to slug you in the back with a nightstick. Yeah, I remember all this. Deputy Ward pulls out a straight razor to attempt to shave you. Galt and Mitch grab you from behind, one using his nightstick to put you in a chokehold, the other restraining your arm. The force of it triggers a flashback. You see yourself yoked up, tied by the wrist to the roof of a shack in a POW camp. You're being interrogated and threatened with a knife. The camp leader slashes you. Your fight or flight instincts kick in full force, and you won't let them hurt you anymore. You let out a scream of rage and drive Galt backward into the wall, stunning him. You sidekick Mitch in the stomach and soccer kick Ward in the groin, not letting him closer to you with the razor. You sprint away into a room, and deputies fill in to surround you. You can see your knife in the corner as they close in on you. You have to escape. All right, so we're on 2 different floors. Rambo's here, junior deputies surrounding him. Deputy Galt's on the first floor. So he can't see us because he's on another floor. These 2 tiles are where the stairs are, so they connect. And it says, there's no line of sight between floors. Enemies on a different floor from you do not activate. Gear. We can have 1 gear slot, although we don't have any gear yet. So it says do not equip any gear cards. Well, maybe we'd have something if we did mission 1. Mission objectives. So we have to defeat all enemies or get the knife, which is right next to us. Get the knife and reach the exit at point of interest 4. We fail if we have 4 wounds or if we can't complete the objectives by the end of round 7. And point 1 is where the knife is. This is the stairs that connect the 2 floors, and 4 is the exit. So if we go down the stairs and get to the exit, we can just skip Deputy Galt. Deputy Galt does 3 damage, so more than the deputies, the junior deputies. Okay. All right, and then, well, this stuff is for later. All right. So the enemies go first. So first we do A enemies, so all 3 of the deputies. They would move toward Rambo. They each have 2 movement points. They would move toward Rambo, except they're already all next to him, so they're not going to move anywhere. And then they attack Rambo. Each one does 2 damage, so that's going to be 6 damage. Rambo has nothing that can counter any of that right now. So 6 damage, well, the first 5 would fill up his health bar, and that turns into a wound. So he's already wounded. And then 1 more damage. Okay. So now we have to choose which stance is going to be wounded, and then you can't use that. On the run lets you do 1 action. You get 1 armor, and you can move 3 spaces. Guerrilla training, you can do 2 actions and move 1 space. Draw blood, we can do 1 action and we get 2 valor. And then recovery, you can move 1, you heal 1 damage, and you get 1 point of armor. So you don't get to do any actions, you can't attack in that. Alright, so we're going to have to choose which one to do. Now these 3 guys are going to beat up on us pretty quickly. We have to get the knife that's here, but it says over here that we have to use 1 action to acquire the knife. So, well, if we do either of these 2 where you get 1 action, we don't get to actually attack with it, but if we do guerrilla training, then we can attack. And to do that, to get this, you just have to be adjacent to it, and diagonal is adjacent, so I can already just take it by doing an action. Now, you can use 1 tactics card per turn. We can also use an action to attack. We can use one of these actions to draw another tactics card. Oh, and I was supposed to draw 1 tactics card, so there should be 1 more. I didn't do that. Alright, Burning Rage. Alright, okay, so this says, if we play this while we're wounded, Rambo is wounded, just haven't chosen a stance to wound yet. If I play this while Rambo is wounded, I gain 3 movement. Okay. Alright, so like this one, Rambo can move 6. If I use that, he already has 3 movement, I can move 6. And to use a stairwell, instead of using an action, we use 1 movement, it says. So, could use, let's see, if I did on the run, I could use the action to get the knife and then do a total of 6 movement and go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and already almost beat the exit. Then there'd just be 1 more round, and then these guys wouldn't do anything because now they can't see Rambo anymore, and then it would be Galt would attack him. Alright, so I could do that. Kill them all. Play when you choose a stance. Add +2 to any of the stance's stats. Ooh. So, any of these you can add 2. So I guess you could do 4 actions. If I did 4 actions, now you don't gain anything from killing anybody. There's no experience or anything like that. And it says one of the things we can do, we can defeat all the enemies, or we can just get to the exit with the knife. So, let's say I did this one. I could get the knife, which... where's the knife? Rambo's knife. Okay, the knife does 3 damage. You have to be adjacent to an enemy to attack. You target 1 enemy, and you do 3 damage. Junior deputies all have 4 health, so they would take 2 hits to kill. If you're hidden, you do an extra 2 damage. Normally, when you're hidden, a weapon will do an extra 1 damage. Okay. So I'm going to have to get that. That's part of the mission. And also, can't attack anybody until we have a weapon. So if I did this one and had 4 actions, well, it would take 1 to get the knife, and then 2 would kill 1 of these, and then 1 would injure another one. Then we still have 2 to... there would still be 2 attacking me the next round. Your worst nightmare, what does this do? Ooh. Play when you are not adjacent to an enemy and gain the hidden token. So, if I take the knife, this goes away, and then I believe I can just move there, and then I wouldn't be adjacent to any enemies. I could get the hidden token, and when you're hidden, well, they can't see you, they don't do anything. Now this goes away if you ever attack someone, or if you end your movement adjacent to an enemy. So basically, well, any other space on here is adjacent to at least one of those junior deputies, and then the hidden would go away. Okay. Or yeah, there's the one that if you're wounded, you gain 3 movement. Oh, and then also for that turn, all attacks target one extra person, one extra enemy, and do +2 damage. Ooh. So if I did that instead, I could get the, well, with this one, I could get the knife, and this would let me target one extra enemy. So now the knife would target 2 people, so you could kill 2 of these people. And then on the next turn, we could do kill them all. Add 2 to one of these stances stats. So this one where you can move 3, we could use that to actually move 5. Well, actually, after I kill them, I could do some more moving. And well, because yeah, the guerrilla training, what did it say? Burning Rage does gain 3 movement. So I could get the knife and then move, say, over here, kill 2 of them, and then on the next turn, I wonder if I'm supposed to have this many tactics cards, but it did say in the rule book draw 2, and then this says draw 1. Well, it says in the rule book draw 2 before you do any of this. So I could get the knife, move over here, kill 2 of them, and then on the next turn I can add 2 to any of the stance's stats. So I could do this one where you can move 5, and I could go 1, 2, 3, 4, and what does it take to exit? Use 1 movement to exit the police station. And I believe I just have to be adjacent to it. I'm not sure exactly how the stairs work. Do I have to move onto there and then another move to here? Because to activate a point of interest, you just have to be adjacent to one. But I mean, activating the stairs, you move. So I'm not sure. So I don't know if I just have to get to here and then I can use 1 movement to exit, or if I need to actually be on here and then use 1 movement to exit. I don't know. If I only have to be here, and if I basically am next to that and then use 1 more movement to exit, then yeah, I can do all that in 1 turn, and that would be, let's see, 1 junior deputy will get to attack another time. And we can completely skip, oops, that's Galt. That's not Rambo, that's Rambo. And I can completely bypass Galt so he never hits. Now, if I become hidden, so if I get the knife, then come here and become hidden, I have to get past all these, and it'll take 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. It takes 6 movement to get up to here, assuming I have to move onto the stairs and then move to these stairs. That'll take 6 movement, and well, if I play the Burning Rage card, it gains 3 movement, and use On the Run, I'd be able to do that. I think that's the way to go. And then if I'm hidden when I come up here, Galt's never going to do anything. I can just go right by him. Okay, so I think Wounded is going to be on, whatever. How about Draw Blood? Well, yeah, because I'll only have 1 wound, and that'll go away before the next mission starts. Okay. So I'm here. Alright, so this doesn't seem too bad. I'm going to use Your Worst Nightmare. It says play when, well, I'm not going to use it yet. Play when you are not adjacent to an enemy to gain the hidden token. When you are hidden, enemies do not move toward you or attack you. If you attack while hidden, you deal +1 +1 damage. You lose the hidden token after you use any action or end your movement adjacent to an enemy. So, Let's see, which stance am I using? I'm using... I want to use on the run next time. Well, let's do recovery. No, that one doesn't, I don't get an action. I'll do guerrilla training. I get 1 movement and two actions. So I'm going to use an action to retrieve the knife. Alright, so now I have Rambo's knife. We'll just put it up here. And then I'm going to move here and use the
Your worst nightmare
card. So now Rambo's hidden. Alright, so we'll leave the hidden token on there. I should make a little more space. I don't need these damage tokens up here. They can hide out of view. Same with the armor and the valor tokens. Okay, and yeah, I don't know what these bullet tokens do. I assume I'll find out at some point. Alright, let's get some of this other stuff there. Alright, so I have Rambo's knife. Use your worst nightmare. Now I'm hidden. I'm not going to use the other action because then Rambo won't be hidden anymore. Alright, so that's it for Rambo's turn. Now we go to turn 2. So now the enemies would activate and move again, except Rambo's hidden, so they're not going to move. They don't move, they don't attack, so they don't do anything. Okay, so now I have to choose a new stance. You can't use the same stance twice in a row unless 3 of them are wounded, and you only have 1 left. I'm going to on the run, so I get 1 armor, although that shouldn't matter. There, 1 armor, that'll just prevent 1 damage if somebody attacks you. Okay, and this time I'm using Burning Rage. Play while you are wounded, gain 3 movement. So I really have 6 movement I get to use. So 1, 2, 3, 4, and then I think it's 5, 6, and I'm here. I think that's how it works. Okay, and then maybe it's a little clearer in the main game's rulebook. I should read through it too. But I wanted to play this first so that it's chronological. Yeah. I'll read it tonight. Okay. I'm not going to do an action because that would make Rambo not be hidden anymore. Now, yeah, alright. So then, turn 3. All the enemies don't do anything again. I don't have to defeat them, so they're not going to do anything. Alright, well then let's do recovery. So I only get 1 movement from either of these. Well, let's do recovery. Oh, before my turn I was supposed to take away any armor tokens. You only get that for 1 round. Alright, but then if I do recovery, I get an armor token again. I heal 1 damage, so that 1 damage comes off. And then I get 1 move. Alright, well let's just move here. Still not adjacent to Galt, so he's not going to do anything. That's my turn. I'll go to round 4. Oh, I still have kill 'em all. I can add 2 to any of a stance's stats. Well, I guess I could have escaped on that turn, but it doesn't really matter. On turn 4, they won't do anything again because they can't see Rambo. So now, Rambo's turn, I take away any armor tokens that are on there. If you have Valor, you keep Valor. But armor goes away. And then, which one of these two do I want? Well, we'll do On the Run. Okay, so I get an armor again, although that's not going to matter. 1 action, 3 movement. Well, it takes 2 or 3 movement to get out of here. Oh, it says visible on the other side. Maybe the hidden token, just take it with Rambo? I don't know. It's too big. Alright, so hidden token, or On the Run, I move out, and there we go. Got out of there with just the 1 wound and no extra damage beyond that. Assuming I'm doing everything correctly, well, mission done. And that 1 wound will heal before the next mission starts. Unless there's something in the story where you take some more damage or take a wound. Okay, so we leave that on there, the stance, we can just move that aside. Alright, mission success. It says, let's see, all enemies, well, it says mission triggers, all enemies defeated, read mission success. But you don't have to defeat all enemies. It says defeat all enemies or get your knife and reach the exit. So, it is a success. It's certainly not a failure. And I finished by round 4. I had until round 7. We'll just put that back at 1 for the next one. Alright, mission success. You beat the shit out of the cops. Well, no I didn't. Grab your gear and head out to the street. You grab a dirt bike parked outside the station and ride off before they have a chance to recover and stop you. Turn to Chapter 2, Car Chase, on page 3. Okay, get all this stuff off. Junior deputies and go down here too. Let's just do everything down here. So there's plenty of room for all the tactics and gear cards. Okay. Nothing on there. Page 3, card. Oh. What did it say? Chapter 2, Car Chase, page 3. Okay, Car Chase. As you start the bike, you hear yelling and car engine starting. It seems the deputies are getting organized to go after you. But by now they've probably notified that stupid Sheriff Teasel of your escape from custody at the station. You take off in a hurry. The bike handles well on the streets of the town, but as you hear the sirens gaining on you, you realize it's just not as fast as on the straightaways as the cop cars. They're gaining. But you still have a little bit of time before they catch sight of you again. Options. First option, ride out of town hoping to lose them in the wilderness. Okay, then we read wilderness. Other option, double back into town while they look for you and raid the police station for supplies. Ooh, that sounds good. Now, I don't think Rambo does that in the movie, but I kind of like getting more supplies. Right now, all I have is Rambo's knife. Oh, tactics cards are supposed to go back and get shuffled up again. Okay. So yeah, I want to double back. I want more supplies. Double back. You lure Sheriff Teasel and his deputies on a wild chase, then sneak back to the station while they're out searching the town for you. Turn to mission 3, raid the station, on page 10. Alright, and since I'm going to do a mission, what I'm supposed to do is heal 1 wound. So, oh, didn't take that armor away. Heal 1 wound, so now Rambo has no wounds. Draw 2 tactics cards. I got kill them all again and get down. That's not a Sly line, that's an Arnold line. I'm sure he says it in First Blood, but that sounds more like get down. Alright, double back. Yeah, mission 3 on page 10. Oh yeah, so mission 1, right here in the setup, it does not say, it doesn't have a Rambo setup where it says heal 1 wound and draw any number of tactics cards. So either you're not supposed to have any tactics cards when you play that, or, as the book says, you draw 2 before you even do this. If you get 4 wounds, Rambo's dead. And yeah, every mission you get to heal 1, page 10. Every mission you get to heal 1, so I would think, yeah, because even if you had 3, if every mission you get to heal 2, because this one says, Rambo setup, heal 1 wound, draw 1 tactics card, and start with a hidden token. Ooh, how nice. We get to be hidden already? Okay. But yeah, if you got to heal 2 wounds every time, I don't know. I'm just going to do the 1 wound and we'll see if I die. Okay. Alright, so what do we do here? Junior deputies. That's Deputy Galt. Junior deputies, that's all we have on this one. All the A's are junior deputies. Now, there are only 3 junior deputy tokens. Now, I did look a little bit in the rule book. Well, no, I said that in this rule book. There are times where you can have a deployment zone where more enemies will show up later. And then when that's the case, if you don't have any, well, character tokens for them or the junior deputy or character minis or the junior deputy tokens, you just don't put a character out there. But this is not a deployment zone. This is the start of the mission. I wonder if they just should have had 3 of these instead of 4 in the game. I don't know. So I'm just going to use one of these other little tokens. Here, how about the crowbar or crobber? I'll pretend that's a junior deputy. Alright, did I forget? Oh, points of interest. Let's put all those on there. Okay, point of interest 1 is the exit. 5 is up here. We'll see what that is in a bit. 4 is over there, and then 2 and 3. I'm guessing those are the stairs. Special rules. You start this mission with a hidden token. While you are hidden, enemies do not move toward you or attack you. If you attack while hidden, you deal +1 damage. You lose the hidden token after you use any action or end your movement adjacent to an enemy. Okay. There's no line of sight between floors. Yeah, enemies on a different floor from you do not move toward or attack you. All right. I have 3 gear slots, so I can equip up to 3 gear cards. Now all we have is the knife. That's 1. That'll take 1 slot. Now the other supplies we're getting, if you get extra gear cards during the mission, you can equip those right away. If you don't have enough gear slots, then you can replace one of the pieces of gear you have with the new one. Okay. Mission objectives. Collect gear from the police station, optional. Return to the exit, point of interest 1, and escape the station. So I could just leave right now. But I want the gear, so let's see what we have here. Yeah, point of interest 1 is the exit. takes 1 movement to exit the police station and read mission success. Stairwell, 2 and 3, use 1 movement to move between them. Okay, and then the other 2, 4 and 5, are both gear. Each one, it takes 1 1 action to do those. Number 4 is a revolver. And number 5, it's a bulletproof vest. Ooh, I'd like both of those. And how many turns do I... Mission failure is if you have 4 wounds or you don't complete objectives by the end of round 7. Okay, 7 rounds again. The round marker goes all the way up to 16. So I assume there's a mission at some point that has 16 rounds. Alright, this one, 7 rounds, have to be done by then. So if it doesn't look like I can get both the bulletproof vest and the revolver, just have to abandon the other one and get out of there. Oh wait, I didn't draw 1 tactics card. Had the 2 from before looking at this. I should have 1 because that says to draw 1. Again, assuming this is what you're supposed to be doing. Burning Rage again. Alright. Now you have to be wounded to use that one. Currently Rambo is not wounded. Now if I take up to 1 wound, well, that wound will go away before the next mission. Okay, let's see. Alright, anything else I need to do? No? Alright. Okay, so plan. Which, do we want to use one of these? So right now Rambo's hidden. I could just go up to the 2nd floor and go get the bulletproof vest. However, it takes an action to get that, and then that'll reveal Rambo. I could go up here and kill one of them, because right now Rambo's hidden. The knife does 5 damage because he's hidden. So I can use that to kill one of these with 1 hit. Okay, and then... Or could kill one of these with 1 hit. One of these 2. Okay. Ooh, and draw blood. Oh, you can't move with that one. But draw blood gives you 2 valor tokens. Valor, you can add 1 to your movement. You can add 1 damage when you attack, or you can add 1 armor. Well, basically, you can subtract 1 damage when they attack. Oh, and they go first, but they don't do anything because Rambo's hidden. Alright, so let's see. Burning Rage, can't use that right now because you need to be wounded. Get Down says, play when an enemy attacks you. May be played out of turn. Well, of course. Choose another stance and immediately gain its health recovery, armor, and valor tokens. Okay, so when an enemy attacks you, you play this, and you get to move your token onto a different stance and get the benefits of it. Okay. Okay, or, well, can't use that yet either, because that'll be when they attack. Now you get to use 1 tactics card per turn. Well, I guess that would be on the next, when they attack, they go first for each round, so it would be the next turn, the next round. Alright, kill 'em all. Play when you choose a stance, add 2 to any one of the stance's stats. Alright. Oh, so that would be good for guerrilla training. Could add 2 to the actions, move here, kill both of them. And then on the next turn, I can get the revolver. Okay, could do that. It'll take 3 attacks to kill both of them, because as soon as I do the first attack and kill one, then Rambo's not hidden anymore, and now the knife only does 3 damage, and these take 4. So, yeah, it would take 3 actions to kill them both. Wait, why did I say Revolver the next turn? If I'm adding 2 to the actions, I have 4 actions. So I can kill them both and get the Revolver. That sounds like the way to go. Or I can just not go anywhere and use some actions to get more tactics cards. I feel like that would be a waste of a turn, though. Okay, so I am going to choose Guerrilla Training and add 2 to the actions. So I get 4 actions. If I move my 1 movement here, I'm adjacent to both of them, and the first knife will take out 1 deputy because it'll do 5 damage, and they only have 4 health. So that deputy's gone. Rambo's no longer hidden. Now the knife only does 3 damage, but I will do 2 attacks on this one. That's 6 damage. That deputy's gone. And I still have 1 more action, and yeah, number 4, it says use 1 action to acquire Revolver and remove this point of interest. Okay, so I take that off and I get the Revolver. Oh, and I used Kill 'Em All, so that one's gone. Revolver. What does a Revolver do? It targets 1 enemy and does 3 damage, just like the knife, and it has range 1, meaning you can attack anyone in the same 4x4 space as you, or at somebody adjacent, if they're not in the same little 4x4 grid. Okay. But then you don't have to be right next to them like you do with a knife. Alright, well that was a good first round. How about turn 2? Okay. They go. They're on this different floor, so they don't see Rambo. They don't do anything. Neither one of these will do me any good. Alright, I can't use Guerrilla Training again. I have to do something else. Now, options are, well, we'll leave it on there. Okay, if I draw blood, I can get 2 Valor tokens, and I can use those to avoid damage later. But I don't get a move at all. If I use On the Run, I can go 1, 2, 3, and then I have 1 action. I can shoot at one of them. It won't kill them, though. It'll only do 3 damage. And I'll have 1 armor. They'll each come attack and do a total of 3 damage, because the armor will prevent 1. Alright, so I can go upstairs. And take 3 damage. Let's see, I could just move a little closer to here. With recovery, I could move, say, here. Well, I'd heal 1 and get 1 armor, although neither one of those will do anything. Alright, do I have a turn to waste? Because I can use the action to get another tactics card and then get 2 Valor. So I have 5 more turns. It'll take another turn to get up here, 1 or 2 turns to kill them, another turn to get that, and then I still also have to get out. I don't know if I have time to waste. So draw blood, probably not good. I think I should just go up there. I mean, even if I take 3 damage. He's not wounded yet, and if he gets a wound, that'll heal before the next mission. So, yeah, let's just go On the Run. Alright, so we get 1 armor. I get to move 3, so 1, 2, 3. And then my action, I'm going to shoot at one of them. We'll shoot at the crowbar one. Alright, let's replace that with a junior deputy. Alright, so this one has 3 damage. Any more damage and he's dead. Okay. Alright, so that's Rambo's turn. Go up to turn 3. Oh yeah, this is when I get attacked. I can choose another stat and immediately gain its stuff. That might be good for draw blood. Because I can get valor tokens, or I can move it down here and get another armor point. So if I put it down here, I'm only going to take 2 damage. Alright, well they're going to attack. Well, they can only attack from adjacent, but they have 2 movements, so this one will move here and attack for 2. Yeah, I'm going to use get down. And that means I can't use a tactics card when I go, because that'll still be part of round 3. And I'm going to put this here, which says I get another armor. And I'd also recover 1 health, but I'm not hurt at all. So that part doesn't happen. And now this one attacks for 2 damage. That'll just take away the 2 armor. Okay, and then the other junior deputy will move 2 spaces because he has 2 movement, and that puts him adjacent to Rambo. And then he'll attack for 2, and that'll actually do 2 damage. Now here's one thing I'm not sure of. You can't move through enemies, but you can move diagonally, so I don't know if this counts as moving through enemies. I'm not going to worry about it though, because I'm just going to kill this one. But yeah, I'm not sure about that. Alright, so next one. I should probably just do guerrilla training so I can kill one and wound the other. Or I could kill one, get 2 valor tokens, and then kill kill the other one the next time. No matter what, it's going to take another round to kill one anyway. Could use on the run to already get closer to this after killing one. Yeah, I think that's probably the way to go. Okay, I'm going to do on the run. So I get 1 armor. I get 3 movement and 1 action. So we'll do the action first. I'm going to attack this junior deputy. He's dead. Alright, so that junior deputy's dead, and then I have 3 movement. Well, I'm just going to use 2 movement. I'm going to move right here. Can't get the bulletproof vest yet. Have to wait until next turn, but that's okay. Alright. Yeah, maybe that could have been a little different, but that's okay. Alright, turn 4. So I'm going to have to kill him. Well, alright, well, turn 4, deputy goes. Now, he's adjacent to Rambo already, but I don't know if he would move to one of these just to be not diagonal from him. I don't know. We'll just leave him there because he's going to die soon anyway. Alright, so he stays there, does 2 damage to Rambo. 1 armor, so I take 1 damage. Okay. Rambo's turn. Well, we're going to do guerrilla training. And attack junior deputy twice. He's dead. Alright, so now all I have to do is get the bulletproof vest and get out of there in 3 turns. Alright, so guerrilla training's done. Now I'm on turn 5. No armor to take away. So, I guess I'll do on the run so I can move 3 and use my action to get that. Alright, so I'm adjacent to the bulletproof vest, so now I can use my action to get that. What does Bulletproof Vest do? When you would be wounded by an attack, you can discard this. Okay. You can discard this to take no damage or wounds from this attack. Alright. Sounds useful. That'll be a good piece of gear to have every mission. Isn't going to do anything right now. Oh, and yeah, and I can equip both the Revolver and the Bulletproof Vest because I have 3 gear slots for this mission. Although, nobody left to damage Rambo now. Alright. So that was turn 5. Wait, I said I was doing on the run, right? I didn't move it over there. No, when I get my armor, I'm going to put it on there anyway just to make sure I do that every time when it's important later. Alright, so that was the 1 action, and then 3 movements. So 1, 2, 3. Okay. Turn 6. Doesn't really matter. You know what? I'm going to do this. Since I still have... Well, I can't get out right now anyway, because these each just have 1 movement. Oh, but now my armor goes away. These each have 1 movement. It's going to take 2 turns anyway. If I do draw blood, then do on the run later, I can get 2 Valor. Or if I do recovery, I can take away 1 of these damage. I'd rather have the Valor tokens, I think, because you save those from mission to mission. So, if I do draw blood, I get 2 Valor tokens, and... Well, I have an action I can use. I don't get to move at all, but I may as well draw a tactics card. Attack back. Play when an enemy attacks you. Alright. Make a free attack on the enemy that attacked you. Okay. Won't be using that. Alright. Round 7. Now we can do on the run and move 1, 2, 3. Although it's, well, assuming being adjacent to it, you use 1 move to get out, it would take 4 movement otherwise, in which case I'd have to use 1 of my Valor tokens, but I'm not sure exactly how it works, or if I was supposed to be here anyway, or if I went down the stairs and could have been there. I don't know. So I think I'm okay. Alright, so Rambo got out of there. Mission done. Only took 3 damage. I'll take that. This isn't too bad so far. The only thing is, well, whether I'm doing the tactics cards correctly, because that would have made things a little worse for Rambo if I hadn't had so many tactics cards. Those have come in handy. Okay. Mission success. Got the Revolver, got the Bulletproof Vest, got out of there. Killed all the junior deputies. You beat, mission success. You beat the shit out of the cops again. Well, it's correct this time. Grab your gear and head out to the street. You grab a dirt bike parked outside the station and ride off before they have a chance to recover and stop you. So I guess you're not actually killing them, since they have a chance to recover. Alright, turn to Chapter 2, Car Chase on page 3. We already did that. So car chase, we already read that. Well, now we have the options of going to the wilderness or doubling back. Yeah, I can double back and do the mission again. That would be silly. I already have the Revolver and the Bulletproof Vest. But I guess technically you could do this mission over and over and over. So we'll do head to the wilderness, right out of town, hoping to lose them in the wilderness. Alright, so option A, wilderness. You ride as fast as you can out of town, but Teasel knows the area and his car is faster than your bike. You're going to need to outmaneuver him somehow. Turn to Chapter 3, Hot Pursuit on page 8. Hot Pursuit. A police car is on your tail. You glance over your shoulder and see Teasel behind the wheel. Rambo, what do you do? Okay, 3 options. The road ahead leads to a more mountainous region. Your bike should be better suited to rougher terrain than Teasel's cop car. So so we can head to the mountains. We can go off-road and ride through the woods. It'll be dangerous, but there's no way a car can follow you. Okay. Or we can find a steep, rocky area where vehicles can't go and ditch the bike entirely. You'll be exposed for a little while, but you're confident you can quickly outdistance Teasel on foot. All right. There's a part where he's climbing around in the rocks and stuff in the movie. Is that closest to the movie? Although I did do double back last time. I wonder if we get something from one of these. You know, like if we go to the woods, maybe there's some item we get. Let's see. Let's go on foot and try to lose him in the rocks. Okay, so go to rocks. Through hard-earned experience, you identify a steep slope that you can climb on foot, but the sheriff's vehicles can't drive up. You ditch the bike and begin your ascent. Teasel spots you and pulls over at the foot of the slope. He's almost out of range, but he still starts firing off wild shots, hoping for a lucky hit. We draw and resolve one gunshot card. All right, the gunshot cards are shuffled up. There are only 6 of those. Whenever one of these gets drawn, which I guess is only in story stuff, it's discarded and does not ever go back in the deck. So, let's see what happens. Gunshot. Critical hit, take 1 wound. Ow. Well, that'll get healed. That's only 1 wound. It'll get healed before the next mission starts, so that's okay. I think that's the worst one, too, so great. And that'll never happen again. A couple of them are misses. I don't remember what else is in there. There's one that, a couple you take some damage, I think. All right, so take 1 wound. It doesn't really matter. Just put it on one of these. Well, we're not done with story yet. Maybe something else might wound. Draw blood. I'm going to put it on there. All right, so critical hit is out of the game. I'll put it over here. Okay. Draw and resolve gunshot card. All right. You reach the woods at the top of the slope and make it into the trees. So now we're in the woods anyway. Teasel and his deputies will catch up eventually. They know the area and you don't, but you pulled ahead of them, at least for now. Turn to Chapter 4, Scavenge, on page 9. All right, Scavenge. 5 options. You've lost Sheriff Teasel for now, but he and his deputies are still coming. It's like you can't escape the war, just like in Nam. You're on the enemy turf. They have you outmaneuvered, and they're hunting you. Already, you can hear them in the distance, closing in. You can't stay here, but no soldier goes into battle naked if he doesn't have to. It's cold up here in this tough wilderness. Gotta find ways to survive. As you make your way through the woods, you spot an old, rusted-out truck with some junk piled around it. There isn't much here, but there might be something you can use. You only have a few minutes before you'll have to evac to stay ahead of the deputies. Not enough time for a thorough search. Rambo, you have time to search 3 of these locations. All right, 5 things to search. We have search the ground, search under the burlap sack next to the truck, search the back of the truck, search the cab of the truck, search the pile of materials stacked beside the truck. So I have to choose 3 of these. And we'll use a little bullet to choose. I don't want to try reading some of the stuff over here because then I might accidentally see what the other ones say. So I'm going to go with search the cab. Let's also search the back of the truck. And see the ground, the burlap sack, or the junk pile. How about the junk pile? All right, let's see. Ground, burlap sack. All right, back of the truck. You pull open the battered rear door and check the truck's cargo bed. Someone has long since emptied it of anything valuable. Oh, that's too bad. You do find some old but usable rope that was left behind by whoever cleared everything out. All right, so I have rope. It says acquire the rope token. And then if this is the third location you've searched, turn to mission 4, they caught up. On page 12, otherwise search another location. All right, rope. Okay, so I have rope. Okay, back of the truck. Cab. You force open the front door to search the cab. There isn't much left. Whoever abandoned the truck took their time emptying it out. In the glove compartment, you find an old flip-top lighter. You flick it a few times, and miraculously it lights. Guess there's still a bit of fuel left, so acquire the lighter token. Okay, so I also have the lighter. Alright, and junk pile. You toss aside a stack of moldy, moss-covered refuse. Whatever this used to be, most of it has long since been ruined by exposure to the elements. Buried underneath it, you find a rusty crowbar. You dig it out and feel the heft it. It's weathered. Feel the heft it. All right. It's weathered, but still sturdy. Could be useful. Acquire the crowbar token, or crobber, as it says on here. Let's see. You know what? I thought maybe they just didn't have room for 7 letters, but lighter is 7 letters, and it's on there. Crowbar is just missing a W. Oh, that's silly. It's all right. We can still read it. All right. This is the 3rd mission, or the 3rd location. Now we go to mission 4. They caught up. Ooh, raid the station. All right, mission 4, they caught up. So this time, yeah, there are 2 4x4 grids. So if you're in here, if you're, say, right here, and you only have a ranged 1 weapon, like the revolver, you cannot, one shoots anyone in here. So you'd have to move into this area to shoot down, shoot people down here. All right, they caught up. Oh, take away tactics cards. Shuffle them back up. All right, that's good. Draw 2 of these. He calls it home. Play when you attack. This attack has +1 target. Okay. And your worst nightmare. That makes you hidden. Okay, already know that one. All right. Now, setup. Okay, enemy track. So we have junior deputy. 2 junior deputies. Deputy Mitch and Deputy Ward. All right. First Deputy Mitch. He's B. Okay, which one is he? That's Deputy Ward. Yeah, this is Deputy Mitch. He's B. Oh, whoops. That's junior deputy. C is Ward. Now, junior deputies have to be adjacent, so right now neither one of them can attack Rambo, although this one will get in range. Mitch and Ward both have range 1, so right now Deputy Mitch, which is this one up here, he can shoot Rambo, but Ward cannot. And he can only move 2, so he's not going to be able to shoot Rambo yet. All right, briefing. You're still searching the truck when you hear someone yell, "He's over here," somewhere behind you. When you hear someone yell, "He's over here, somewhere behind you." Must have overestimated how much time you had. All right. We only have 6 rounds this time. Why did I put that down there? 6 rounds this time. So set up, yeah, heal 1 wound. And draw 2 tactics cards. So, well, if this is correct, I get to start with 4. I'll have to try playing through this another time where I only draw as many tactics cards as it says on here and do not draw 2 beforehand. See how big a difference it makes. Okay, so 4 tactics card. What else did I get? Get down again. And field medicine. Suffer 2 damage to remove 1 of your wounds. Okay. Sounds good. Alright. Now we also have, well, there's an exit down here, so I assume I just have to get to there, but we have point of interest 1, 2, and deployment marker. I'll put it that way. And 3. Well, all 3 of them, they're just exit. It says if there is no adjacent enemy unit, use 1 movement to escape and read mission success. Yeah, we don't need all 3 of those on there. Alright, so the exit, have to have no adjacent enemies, and then you can get out. Okay, did that. Special rules. At the end of each round, spawn a new deputy at drop zone 1. All junior deputies begin with 1 damage on them. Okay. No, it says spawn a new deputy. Does it mean a new junior deputy? Oh, I didn't put Ward's card on there. Although, I mean, the card's already on there. You don't really need the card. Alright. So junior deputies only have 3 health, basically, in this mission. So the revolver, the knife, those both kill them in 1 hit. Okay, 3 gear slots. Equip up to 3 gear cards. Well, I only have 3 gear. Everything's 1 except there are some heavy weapons. 1 or 2 heavy weapons. Those take up 2 gear slots. So we get the revolver, the bulletproof vest, and Rambo's knife. And the bulletproof vest says, yeah, when you would be wounded, you discard this, and you take no damage or wounds from the attack. So basically, you could use that when whoever does the most damage, which would be, well, both of them do 3. When one of them attacks, if it'll cause a wound, although the junior deputies go first, well, yeah. Alright. Okay, any more setup? Well, mission objectives. Reach the exit. Well, no enemies are adjacent to you. So basically, yeah, just get here as quickly as possible. This is going to be a short mission. Definitely don't need to kill people. Alright, but they're going to go first. Now, yeah, the junior deputies have to be adjacent. Mitch is going to be able to shoot. But Deputy Ward, no. So first, junior deputy goes. Now, he will move 2. Well, he'll move 1, and then he's right here. And then he will attack for 2 damage. So, options. So I have 2 that I can play when an enemy attacks. No, that's play when you attack. Oh no, I only have 1. So get down. Play when an enemy attacks you. Must have been the last mission I drew that one that says you attack back when an enemy attacks you. Okay, play when an enemy attacks you, may be played out of turn. Choose another stance and immediately gain its benefits. Okay, well if I do that, I can't use that stance on the next turn, and I won't be able to play a tactics card, because it'll still be round 1. Now, field medicine. Oh, your worst nightmare. We can become hidden. That should make it pretty easy. Well, except if I'm hidden, then when the junior deputies spawn here, they won't go anywhere. They'll just make a wall here. That might not be a good idea. Well, yeah, they'll make a wall here blocking all this off. I'd have to kill 2 of them, which I'd be able to do with guerrilla training, because junior deputies are dead in 1 hit on this mission. Okay, so your worst nightmare might be good, because he's gonna do 2 damage, which I can discard the bulletproof vest to prevent that damage. Let's see. Or I can save that for another time, but it's only when you would be wounded. Yeah, let's go ahead. I'm going to discard this, so we'll just put it over here out of play, or I'm going to flip it upside down. It's discarded. Alright, so this junior deputy does not hit Rambo. Okay, and then the other junior deputy. Now, I don't know if it matters where exactly he moves. He moves 2 toward Rambo, so that would be any of these 3 spaces. So yeah, I don't know if it matters. So I'm just going to go up. Okay, and then Deputy Mitch. That's both the junior deputies. Now Deputy Mitch goes. Deputy Mitch moves toward Rambo and then attacks Rambo, just like junior deputies. So does Deputy Ward. Move toward Rambo, then attack Rambo. Deputy Mitch has 2 movement, so we'll go up here. And I'm going to say that I cannot just move here. I need to kill somebody first. I don't know if that's actually the case or not, but I'll do that. Okay, and yeah, it's at the end of each round, spawn a new deputy at this spot. Although, yeah, read in the rules, it doesn't go on this spot, it would go in an adjacent spot. Okay. Let's see, that's not until the end of the round. Alright, so Deputy Mitch moved there. Deputy Mitch will do 3 damage. I could do the get down card if I want, but I want to try to become hidden. I feel like that's going to make this mission pretty easy. Although it'll still take a little more damage. Alright, so, well, maybe not. Alright, so Mitch is going to do 3 damage. Oh, and Mitch also has 1 resistance, which means when you attack, you do 1 less damage to him. But I'm not going to try to kill Deputy Mitch, although he only has 4 health. Nope, I'm just going to try to get out of here as quickly as possible and kill this junior deputy to try to move down there. I don't know which one of these would have been the deputy's move. You know what, I'm going to put it there instead. Well, I'm going to put it in whichever one of these seems least beneficial to me, but I'll choose later. Okay, so 3 damage. Well, I'll get a wound and then have 1. So, what do I want the wound to be? I'm trying to get out of here as quickly as possible, so I want lots of movement. I'm going to wound, draw blood. Okay, so that's Mitch's turn, and then Deputy Ward moves 2 spaces toward Rambo, and then has range 1, so he could shoot anyone in here, and then he can only shoot adjacent spaces in this other zone, so he could shoot these two. So he cannot shoot Rambo. Not on this turn. Alright, so they're done. Now it's Rambo's turn. So I forgot, what does your worst nightmare exactly say? When I'm not adjacent to an enemy, I play this to gain the hidden token. And then while you're hidden, enemies don't attack. And you deal 1 extra damage. Okay. So I can't, well, I'm going to kill that one. So I'm going to have to, well, any of these, well, no, not recovery. I'm going to do on the run or guerrilla training. Well, I'm going to do on the run because guerrilla training, actually I could kill both of them with guerrilla training. Mitch, it would take 5 damage to kill him because of his 1 resistance. Need to do 4 damage to him. But the 2 valor tokens, I can add on 2 damage to the knife or the revolver. And that'll kill him. So if I do guerrilla training, I can kill both of them. Oh, but then, yeah, and then I can play worst nightmare to be hidden. Okay, could do that. Or if I use on the run, I can use the 1 action to kill this junior deputy, and then I have 3 movement. So then I can go, say, 1, 2, 3, or, well, I can get somewhere away from Mitch and not adjacent to this one. Because if there's only the 1, I'm pretty sure I can do that. Diagonal movement. He's not blocking me from doing that and making it take 2 to get to there. Alright, so well, and if that did block it, basically I just have to go 1, 2, 3, and then use a valor token to have 1 extra movement and make it to there. Okay. So yes, I'm going to use on the run. I get 1 armor. I get 1 action and 3 movement. So I'm going to use the knife. I could use the revolver, but the knife's more fun. Kill this junior deputy. And then move to here. And now I'm going to use your worst nightmare. And now Rambo is hidden. And I can move all the way down here without them doing anything. Although I'll have to kill 2 to get out of there. Oh, it'll also take 4 movement. No. The next time I move, I'm going to be adjacent to one of them. Yeah. And this one I said I would put it in whichever one of these spaces was going to be the least beneficial to me. This would be more beneficial because then I could move down here and not be adjacent to somebody. So I'm not going to have him there. I'm going to put it here. This is worse for me. All right. But that's the end of the turn. That's the end of the first round. So now when the round ends, before I go to round 2, a new junior deputy spawns. And well, it just says spawn a new deputy. So perhaps Deputy Galt could be put out there. But I don't think that's the case. All right, new junior deputy. We're going to put him there. Okay, and now the round's over. We can go to round 2. What do I have to win by? Round 6. All right. So now on their turn, none of them are going to do anything because Rambo's hidden. I feel like for any of these missions where you don't have to kill everybody, That has to be the best card. There are 10 tactics cards. Yeah, that has to be the best one. Okay. So, what's Rambo going to do? Okay, I have 6 rounds to get out. Basically, I just need to get down here and then I can get out. That's not going to be a problem. Now I kind of wish I had draw blood. But it's too late for that now. I could do guerrilla training. I don't want to move at all. I'm going to wait until the next turn when I can move 3. Okay, I can do guerrilla training and draw 2 tactics cards and not move at all. Or I could... Oh, wait. No. If I do that, if I draw tactics cards, that's taking an action. That'll make Rambo not hidden. No. It says if you are hit... Yes, after you use any action or end your movement adjacent to an enemy. So, drawing a tactics card, that's an action. I hope I didn't cheat in that one mission earlier of raiding the station and say draw a tactics card and remain hidden. Oh well. Alright, so now guerrilla training won't do any good. Can't draw any tactics cards. So I'll do recovery. Oh, I was supposed to take that armor away. So I'm going to do recovery, and I get 1 movement, but I'm not going to use it. I can recover 1 point of damage, and I get 1 armor. Okay, but I'm not going to do any actions, so Rambo's still hidden. Well, now we go up to round 3. We get another junior deputy. Let's see. This one's probably worse for me, so he'll spawn there. And that's all the junior deputy tokens. So unless I'm supposed to put Galt out there the next time, no more junior deputies to spawn. Okay, so that's it for round 3. Wait, or did I already move that? The very first round I got over to here. Yeah, I already moved that. Now I'm on round 3. I just did that after. Well, I moved the round marker before I was supposed to. Okay, so round 3. They don't do anything again. Okay, so it's Rambo's turn. Okay, armor token goes away. Now I have to choose a stance. Doing on the run. So I get 1 action, 1 armor, 1 action, 1 armor, 3 movement. Okay. Now, I mean, I'm going to be moving down there or here. Either way. Ooh, and Mitch won't be able to attack because he also has range 1. And now I'll be in a new zone. Alright, so I think... Oops, I was right there. So I think I'm going to go here. No, let's see. If I move here and kill one of these, they're going to surround... All of them are just going to surround Rambo. Well, all the ones that are left, both of those have 1 point of damage. Wait. What else can I do? Yeah, I have that one. Suffer 2 damage to remove 1 of your wounds. Okay, that can be good. Play when you attack. This attack has 1 extra target. Okay. So I can kill 2 junior deputies with this. I think that's the way to go. And then I might want to do field medicine on the turn after that when I'm trying to escape. All right. So, I'm on the run. Let's see. I already got my armor. Okay, I'm going to move 3. I'm going to move to here. Okay, and then I'm going to use the revolver and attack, because I have 1 action. I'm going to attack, but he calls it home, lets me have 1 extra target. So I'm going to play that. Shoot at both of these 2 deputies. Yeah, I think that's the way to go. Alright, so they're both dead. That's it for Rambo's turn. So now, before the next turn, get a new deputy. Get a new junior deputy with 1 damage. And now it's round 4. Okay, junior deputies. This one's already adjacent to Rambo. I can move here or just stay there. I don't think it really makes a difference. So he's going to do 2 points of damage to Rambo, except the armor will take 1. Okay, and then the other junior deputy, move here, do another 2 points of damage to Rambo. Okay, and then Deputy Mitch will move 2 spaces toward Rambo, and he cannot hit Rambo because Rambo is not in the same. Rambo's out of range. Okay, then Deputy Ward can move 2 spaces toward Rambo. And he will attack for 3 damage. Alright, well there's another wound. Well, whatever. 3 damage, so 1 more wound, and now I have that now. No, I just want to get out of here on this one, so we'll go that one. Oh wait, I can't use on the run again though. At least not on the next turn. Oh, I don't like that. Well, I'm not going to be able to get out of here. Well, possibly if I use Valor tokens for extra movement. Oh, wait a minute. No. Yeah, I used He Calls It Home on round 3. The one that just attacked, I can, or on, yeah, when that one attacked, or this one, it doesn't really matter. When he attacked me, get down. When an enemy attacks you, choose another stance and immediately gain its benefits. So if I play that, I won't be on the run anymore, and I can use that on my next turn. So, I'm going to take the wound to Guerrilla training and change to recovery, which lets me take off 1 point of damage and get 1 armor. So then, when Deputy Ward moves over here and attacks, for 3, well, it'll do 2. All right, they're all done. Now it's Rambo's. Oh, Rambo's not hidden anymore. Should have taken the hidden token away. Okay, they're all done. has a little bit of terrain under him. The other ones are just have these flat little stands. Okay. Well, Rambo's turn. He can only do on the run. 1 point of armor, 3 movement, and 1 action. So I can use the knife to kill this junior deputy. I cannot... Oh, I used that one. I didn't discard it. I cannot use field medicine. I really wanted to, but I already used a card on this round, so can't do another tactics. All right, so 1 action. Is there any point? Well, there's really no point into attacking one, and then 3 movement. I can go 1, 2, and I'm adjacent to those. It just takes one movement to get out of there, as long as you have no adjacent enemies. So, or I can just go down here. All right, so yeah, I'm gonna do on the run, get out of there. I have 2 wounds, so I'm gonna start the next mission with a wound. That stinks. All right, so Rambo got out of there. All right, so we'll take all that off. Okay. All right. That's it for that mission. I'm going to take these cards off. All right, mission 4. Okay, so one of these wounds will go away, but still have 1 wound. I don't know which one I'm gonna have to take the one off guerrilla training. Having 2 actions is always important. We don't need the armor. All right, mission success. You disable a couple of deputies and escape into the woods before more of them can show up and overwhelm you. They were winded and sluggish. They aren't conditioned like you are. Oh, is that why they started with only 3 health, the juniors? You come to a broad but shallow river and take a few refreshing sips. As you lean forward, you see your reflection of the water. Your reflection in the water? Covered in dirt and blood, just like before. You slap the water's surface, churning up your reflection. You don't have time to think. This is a battlefield. Stay still and you're as good as dead. All right. Turn to Chapter 5, Helicopter Harassment on page 14. Okay. Chapter 5, Helicopter Harassment. Gonna have 2 options. Alright, you push yourself along a riverbank at a hard pace, heading upriver and deeper into the mountains. You round a bend in the river to find your path blocked by a steep cliff, water cascading down from above. You start climbing. As you make your ascent, you hear the familiar thrum of helicopter blades. There are voices and dogs barking somewhere above you. The sheriff's men have gotten ahead of you somehow. They must have taken a different route and cut you off. You're well above the treetops now, and there's no way you can face them while you're hanging off the side of a mountain. It's best you descend. Choices. Rambo, what do you do? Climb down as fast as you can, relying on your strength and speed to get you below cover before the helicopter arrives. Okay, so we can climb down, or hold your breath and jump for the treetops below. It's a long fall, but the branches are thick. You should be able to grab onto something. So we can jump down. All right, so if we climb down, that'll probably take longer, and I bet the sheriff gets another gunshot at you. But I already got rid of the one that's take 1 wound, so the worst any of that'll do is a little damage. Okay. Or yeah, hold your breath and jump for the treetops below. I'm guessing that's going to be some damage or a wound. Unless maybe something like the rope helps out. But no, I'm going to climb. All right, you scramble down the cliff's face, arms aching from the effort. The chopper's rotors grow louder and louder. You're still too far from the ground when the helicopter rounds the mountainside and into view. It's close enough that you can see Head Deputy Galt leaning out the side with his rifle. There's a loud bang as he takes the first shot. The bullet ricochets off the cliff face a few feet away from you. The chopper hovers closer, the pilot struggling to keep it steady against the powerful winds. Galt draws a bead on you. All right, so what do you do now? Okay. Climb down as fast as you can. You won't be able to get there before Galt can take another shot, but you'll take your chances. All right, I'm sure that's going to be Gunshot. So keep climbing. This one requires rocks. Don't have that. Rocks are right here. Maybe that was one of the things we could have gotten when I got the rope and lighter and crowbar. All right, but let's see. Just to see what it says. The chopper's getting real close. You could maybe hit it with one of the smooth rocks you grabbed earlier. Oh, nice. Throw rocks at a helicopter. I like it. Or, third option, requires revolver. The chopper is getting real close, and unlike Galt, you can stop moving and take a clear shot. So, shoot at the helicopter, or keep climbing. So yeah, keep climbing down. I'm sure it's going to be a gunshot. I wonder what this will do if we shoot at the helicopter. Since it's one of the options that requires you having something, I bet it has a better outcome. So let's do that. All right, quick draw. No, keep climbing, throw a rock, quick draw. Quick draw. You grab the revolver you took from the station and line up your shot. As you peer down the sights, Galt sees you aiming and goes rigid. Just as he barks something at the pilot, you let the hammer drop. Galt is flung violently into the helicopter. Good. Stone dead. Yes. Galt was a bastard anyhow. The pilot panics and jerks the helicopter away from the cliff, flying back around the mountain and out of sight. You reach the ground and head back into the woods. Turn to Chapter 8, Guerrilla Preparation, on page 20. Okay. So, am I skipping hunted? Huh. Ooh, here's another one, prey. I wonder if I'll... Alright. Chapter 8, Guerrilla Preparation. I wonder if I just skipped some stuff. That could have been more gear. But also, I don't know, maybe it means fewer missions. Okay. Guerrilla Preparation. You gave them their chance, but they won't let it go. The damn sheriff must have some kind of personal vendetta against you. But they don't know what you're really capable of doing. In town, they're the law, but out here, it's you. Oh, is he going to say,
I am the law?
Wrong movie, though. This is your home turf. All right, so what's Rambo going to do? So 2 options. You and your body have been through a lot. It's time you've used the time you've bought to recover. Okay, so I don't know, maybe heal a wound, which I'm going to start the mission also healing a wound, so that'll be, I'm guessing both of those will be gone if I choose that. Or they have numbers, but you have your training and enough material to set up some makeshift traps. Use the time to prepare your defenses. Okay, so we can set traps. So that'll maybe kill some people, and we'll have fewer to fight in the next mission. All right. So I'll start with 1 wound instead of 2, I'm guessing. But there'll be fewer people to kill. It'll make the mission easier. I'd like to set traps. All right, so set traps. B. Oh, lots of stuff to do. While the cops are deciding on how best to pursue you, you have an opportunity to put your training to good use. Rambo has time to prepare 2 traps out of these 5. All right, I'm missing one of those. Where'd it go? Probably still in the book. Okay. Two traps. Oh, and they all require, well, 4 of them require stuff. First one requires rope. Find a sapling and bend it into a whip trap. Okay, burlap. Don't have that. Sharpen some stakes and use the burlap to cover them. Crowbar. Have that. Use the crowbar to split some wood and make a mace trap. Lighter. Have that too. Light a fire and find something to eat. Ah, okay. I'm sure that'll take care of some damage as well. Or scout the area and get a better idea of the terrain. Okay, well, I can do the rope and the crowbar to set traps, or I can use the lighter and try to find something to eat. Now, I wanted to set traps. I'm setting traps. Where is the other one of those? Is it still in the book? Yep, there it is. Okay. So I said I'm going to use the rope and the crowbar and set those 2 traps. So read B1 and B3. All right, B1, whip trap. You find a sapling with a lot of elasticity, like the bamboo in Nam. You cut it down with your knife. You shave off the branches, then attach some nasty looking... What? Oh. You shave off the branches, then attach some sharpened wooden stakes to it. The result is a long, nasty looking barbed stick, with enough spring that it can bend back and launch forward with a lot of force. You find 2 trees close together and tie the end of your stick securely in the V between them. You bend the stick all the way back and tie it down. Then rig a simple tripwire to set it off. As soon as one of those stupid deputies walks over it, they'll get it right in the legs. Says, when you set up mission 6 out here, you're the law. Read whip trap in the mission briefing. All right. And then, well, go on to Chapter 9, Welcome to Hell, if that was a second strategy, so we don't do that yet. Okay, so whip trap, and then mace trap. You use your crowbar to split logs into thick, nasty splinters that will act as makeshift spears. You find a heavy downed log and attach the splinters to it. Then you raise it up into a tree and rig it to swing down into someone once it's triggered. Back in Nam, you saw traps like these nearly cut men in half. Those cops won't know what hit them. Alright, so same thing, read Mace Trap when we set up Mission 6. And if this is the second strategy you prepared, turn to Chapter 9, Welcome to Hell, on page 22. Okay. Alright, so Whip Trap, Mace Trap, when I get to Mission 6. But we're not ready for that yet. Okay, Welcome to Hell. As expected, the deputies wander into your playground. They wouldn't let it go. So now they'll pay the price. You hear dogs barking as they advance toward you. You bet they're going to release those dogs after you first, since you don't want the dogs to suffer in your traps, or waste them. You decide now is the time to begin. Lightning flashes, and one of the deputies sees the scarecrow you made out of a rain poncho and some sticks. They panic, and just as you anticipated, the dog trainer releases 2 of his Doberman pinchers to eat you alive. They come running toward your hiding spot at full speed, but you're ready for them. So, what does Rambo do? 2 choices. First one requires rifle. Use Galt's rifle to take them out. I'm wondering if throwing the rock at the helicopter could have resulted in that. Getting the rifle. Alright, but I don't have the rifle, so I can't put them down. So, option 2, ready your knife. Okay, so I have to do that. All right. Read B, dog attack. Okay, dog attack. You weren't planning on killing K9, and you aren't a sick puppy, but these mutts are trying to kill you, and that makes this an easy choice. You ready yourself as the barking gets closer. You use 2 trees as funnel, so the dogs can't surround you, and you take them out one at a time. The first one bursts through the bush and lunges at you. In a sweeping motion, your knife nearly takes its head off. It yelps and then drops to the ground with a wet thud. The second dog is right behind it. You know it's coming, but your body can't react fast enough. The dog clamps its jaws around your forearm, but not as deep as the knife you sink into its chest. Suffer 1 wound. Great. Recovery. Great. All I have right now is on the run, although I'll get to heal. The dying dog lets out a yelp, loud enough for the deputies and the dog trainer to hear. What did he do to my pups? Go get him, Maggie. You hear the third and last dog approaching. It stops short of attacking you, looking from you to its 2 unmoving siblings on the ground. And lets loose a long, low growl. Then in a flash, it comes at you, staying low and going for your legs. It can smell the blood of its brothers, and it is even more ferocious. You jump up and avoid the bite, then swing your knife in a lethal strike on your way down. You've put the dogs down, but not without injury. Time to move on with the rest of your plan. All right. So now we're on mission 6. So, well, at least there's no more story that can give me another wound and kill Rambo. So, mission 6. All right, Rambo starts here. At least on the first turn, nobody's going to be able to attack. Unless we have... Oh, we have Sheriff Teasel, who has 2 range, so he'll be able to attack from anywhere. So I take it back. No. Let's put the tactics cards back in here. Didn't do that earlier. Shuffle them up a bit. At least I have the bulletproof vest again on this one. All right, this could be bad. Well, here's where, if I am actually supposed to heal 2 wounds, because it's going to say on here, set up, heal 1 wound, draw 2 tactics cards. So if I'm actually supposed to be healing 2 wounds, that would be nice. Okay. How much is left on here? All right. No. Point of interest 1 and 2. All right, set them up. So we have junior deputies. A's are junior deputies. So 2 of them. B is Deputy Mitch. It's Deputy Mitch. C is Deputy Ward. And D is Sheriff Teasel. Not only can he shoot Rambo from anywhere, he attacks twice. He attacks Rambo, moves towards Rambo, and attacks Rambo again. Whew. I'm thinking I definitely want to be hidden. All right. So we have everybody except Galt. He's dead. Okay, so not Galt. Oh, you know what? No, this one is. Well, all right. This is definitely Ward. Which one of these is Teasel? Oh, I see. His figure doesn't quite match the picture, but it shows it there. Okay. Teasel, Mitch. Teasel's aiming, Mitch has his gun pointing down. Alright. Okay, that does not look good. No. Well, and before I get to that, draw 2 tactics cards. He calls it home, have 1 extra attack. Okay. And attack back. When an enemy attacks you, you can make a free attack at the enemy that attacked you. But they must be in range. And I only have revolver and knife. I mean, knife, they have to be adjacent. Revolver, I can only hit someone in here. Okay. Right. Oh, and this one's not going to be able to attack because he won't be able to move in range, but this one, Deputy Mitch will be able to attack. Junior deputies can only attack adjacent, so can avoid them. Alright. But Mitch and Teasel are going to be able to shoot Rambo this first round. But let's see what happens, because I have traps. Alright, it says if you were trained to kill, period. But they don't know that. They never gave you a chance, so now it's time to return the favor. The deputies advance through the woods. You're ready. If you used your preparation time to set traps, continue reading. Whip trap. I had whip and mace. Alright, whip trap. You grab one of the deputies near where you set the whip trap and tie him to a tree. You stand in the open for a moment, baiting another of the deputies to aim at you, and move out of the way just as the shot goes off. It hits the deputy you tied up in the shoulder, and he screams bloody murder. Alright, that's good. That deputy who fired thinks he got you, and rushes ahead blindly. He stumbles across the tripwire, and the barbed stick swings out and hits his legs. Each of his legs gets impaled with 2 sharp spikes. He screams in vain for Teasel's help. Ooh, so that's going to hurt 2 people, it sounds like. Alright, that's good. Alright, remove 1 junior deputy of your choice. The closer one, I guess. Deal 2 damage to an enemy other than Sheriff Teasel. Oh, I like that. Okay, Mitch and Ward both have exactly the same stats, so one of these 2. Doesn't really matter, I guess. Mitch is going to be able to shoot at me this round. Ward's not. I mean, yeah. Alright, we'll do Mitch this one. Yeah. Alright, 2 damage to Mitch. Alright, I like that. Well, and the other trap might do some more stuff. Ooh, if it's just as good as that one, I can kill the other deputy and Mitch. Alright, Mace Trap. As you run through the woods, controlling the field. Excuse me. As you run through the woods controlling the field, you're able to draw the sheriff and deputies in and out of the trees at your whim. You immobilize 1 deputy on the east side, forcing him down hard, and you let him call out, "Will!" to the sheriff. This draws another deputy into the tripwire of your mace trap, which comes crashing down into his gut, knocking the wind out of him and gouging a large puncture wound in his side. He's down for the remainder of the battle, and if your opponents don't see to him quickly, he'll likely bleed out. Remove 1 junior deputy of your choice, and draw 1 extra tactics card. So I don't get to kill Mitch. That's too bad. Alright, but an extra tactics card, and I'm still going to get to draw 2 more. Kill them all. Play when you choose any stance. Add +2 to any of the stance's stats. Okay. Alright. Oh. I just put all the cards right here. Well, there are no junior deputies, so we can get rid of that. Put all the cards right here, but I have to turn the page to see the rest of this. Alright, battlefield conditions, 6 rounds. Well, let's put it on round 1. Rambo setup. Heal 1 wound, draw 2 tactics cards. I haven't done that yet. I am definitely doing guerrilla training because I need to make attacks. Heal 1 wound and draw 2 tactics cards. Get down, that's where you choose a stance when you get attacked, and then Burning Rage. Ooh. You gain 3 movement, and your attacks have +1 target and +2 damage for the entire turn. That would be good. And you play while you're wounded. I'm wounded. I'm going to have 3 wounds after they attack. Okay. That's going to be useful. Teasel is going to be extremely hard to kill, though. He has 2 resistance. So every attack on him does 2 less damage. I think the strategy is going to be to kill both of them and get, well, one of these that's the exit. So kill both of them, get to the exit. I would like to be hidden, but I haven't had that card. That's too bad. Hidden, I think, would be very nice. Because, yeah, Teasel can just do too much damage each time. But so yeah, Burning Range, I can do 5 damage with anything. Each of them could be killed in 1 hit, while Mitch is already hurt. I have to get in range, though, to hit them. Alright, well, we'll see. This could be the end. Okay, what else do we have? 3 gear slots. Well, I have 3 gear. Oh yeah, I have bulletproof vest too. That'll at least help a little bit. Alright, mission objectives. Defeat all deputies. Oh, okay, I don't have to exit. Defeat all deputies, so Mitch and whatever his name is. Ward. Kill Mitch and Ward, and then once they're all dead, deal at least 1 damage to Sheriff Teasel. Okay. Wonder if it's possible to do that all in 1 turn. Well, no, I have to get in range first. Okay. Points of interest. Point 1, dog trainer's gear. Ooh. If I can get down here, I can use 1 action to get a double-barreled shotgun. Point of interest 2 is tactical retreat. If no enemies are adjacent to you, you read mission success B. Okay. No, it's going to be easier to just kill the 2 deputies and then do 1 damage to Teasel. If I could be hidden, then it'd be extremely easy. Just move over here. All right. Okay, nothing else to set up. All right. So Mitch already has 2 damage. Ward and Teasel. And I really wish I had that rifle from Galt. Although there was another mission in there, maybe I would have had to do that first. But it would have been nice to not take a wound from those dogs. Okay, so let's see. Everything's all set. Mitch is going to go first. So he will move 2 spaces toward Rambo. I guess like this. Doesn't really matter. You can go there, there. Yeah, we'll go there. And then he attacks for 3. Now, I'm going to use a bulletproof vest to make that not happen, right? When you would be wounded by an attack, because the 3 damage will cause a wound, you may discard this to take no damage from wounds this attack. Okay. Alright, so that's gone. Alright, so he didn't do anything to me, and now Deputy Ward goes. He moves 2 spaces, but he is not in range to attack. So he'll move 2 spaces and stop. Teasel first attacks Rambo. Oh, and his attacks ignore... this shows a little resistance thing. I think that's supposed to be armor. So if I had any armor, wouldn't do anything here. So first he attacks Rambo for 2 damage. Now, since I got attacked, oh, that's right. I could have... did I want to use something when Mitch attacked? Alright. No, that doesn't... Oh, okay, but play when you choose a stance. Add 2 to any one of this stance's stats. I mean, I could do 3 actions or 4 actions, but I can't... no matter where I move, I'm not going to be able to kill them and shoot at him because he's too far away. Alright. So that's no good. Play when... attack back. Play when an enemy attacks you. Make a free attack on the enemy that attacked you. You must be in range of the weapon you use. So when Mitch attacked, I could have played this and killed him right now. But then I won't be able to use a tactics card on Rambo's part of the turn. Alright. I can use play when you attack and do 1 extra target. This is going to be close. I don't know if I'm going to survive. This will let me do 1 extra target. I do have the 2 Valor tokens. I can use those to do extra damage. Okay, or Burning Rage. Play while you're wounded, gain 3 movement, and then your attacks have +1 target and +2 damage. Ooh, this could be very good. Okay. That could be very good. So if I do that, I could say use 3 of my... You could use this. Use 3 of my movement to get down here. I'll get +1 target, so my 1 attack can kill both of them. And then I still have 3 more movement. I can get closer to Teasel to make sure he's in range, although he'll be moving into range next time. Or no, he's going to be moving in... Oh! He'll be moving into range right now. Okay, no, I don't want to attack back on Mitch. Or yeah, I have my get down. Choose a stance right now. No. Alright. So on Teasel's turn, he already did 1 attack. I got that. Now he moves toward Rambo. He has 2 movement. So, here. And now he attacks again. So 2 more damage. That'll be another wound. Actually, yeah. Well, I mean, he moves here. This is the most direct route toward Rambo. Sure, he could move there, but this is more toward Rambo, so he's moving there. No, I'm going to be able to do this in 1 turn. Oh, so I have to take another wound. I'm doing on the run. Alright, so basically... Oh, actually, I could use Valor to... Well, no, I can't use Valor as armor, because he ignores armor. Okay, Rambo's turn. I choose a stance. So guerrilla training is all I have. But I am going to use Burning Rage, which gives me 3 extra movement. So I have 4 movement this turn. And all my attacks... This turn, my attacks do 1 extra target and 2 extra damage. And I get 2 actions. So I'm going to use 3 movement to go right here. And then once I kill both of them, I'm going to move into here so I can shoot him. Alright, so I'm going to use, well, it doesn't matter, knife or revolver. They're both adjacent. So I use the knife. It is doing attacks 2 targets and does 5 damage. They each have 1 resistance, so it does 4 damage to each one. He's already hurt. He's not, but 4 damage will kill him anyway. Or incapacitate him, whatever. So both of them are out. Bye. Those traps were useful. Alright, they're both out. And now I still have 1 movement, so I'm going to move down here. And use my second action with the revolver to do 5 damage to Teasel. Well, really 3 because he has 2 resistance. But hey, that's at least 1 damage. Mission's done. Although I don't get the double barrel shotgun. But Teasel will kill me on the next turn. So kind of need to end it now. Alright. Well, that was easy. Whew. Okay. Kind of wish I had the shotgun, though. All I have is revolver and knife. No rifle, no shotgun. Alright. But, hey, at least I'll be down to... Well, I'll be back down to 2 wounds and only 1 damage. Ooh. Wonder how many missions are left. Still a few pages of the book, so a couple missions maybe? Alright, so what happens? Mission success. Mission success A, yeah. B is for tactical retreat. 1 at a time, you bring down each of Teasel's men, fighting back the instincts drilled into you by your old CO, Colonel Sam Troutman. You spare their lives. Oh, that's too bad. Eventually, it's just you and Teasel. You outmaneuver him, shoving him against a tree, putting your knife to his throat, and explaining the truth to him.
I could have killed them all out there.
Oh,
I could have killed them all. Out there, you're the law. But out here, it's me. I am the law. Don't push it. Let it go, or I'll give you a war like you wouldn't believe. Let it go. Let it go.
Teasel sags down, deflated, beaten. You disarm him and take his radio so he can't call for help. You don't have any more words for him. Hopefully he was listening. You didn't ask for any of this. All you wanted was something to eat. Why won't he just let it go? Yeah, okay. Yeah, now we gotta, well, it says, turn to chapter 10, escape to the cave on page 28. Yeah, so we have the caves, and then, yeah, Troutman shows up, and we'll see what all we get from this. All right. Hopefully I don't take any wounds before the next mission. I'll just be dead. All right, escape to the cave. You've holed up in an abandoned mine where you sit staring at rocks. At first, the police tried to reach you on the radio you took off the sheriff, but it's been a while since you've heard them. You start to wonder if your words to Teasel have taken root. Then the radio crackles to life. You hear a voice from out of your past. It's Troutman. He says, Covey leader called in Raven. Or is that Covey or Covey? I don't know. Covey leader calling Raven. Come in, Raven. Covey leader calling Raven. Talk to me, Johnny. Covey leader to identify Baker team. Rambo, Messner, Ortega, Coletta, Jorgensen, Danforth, Barry, Krakauer. Confirm. This is Colonel Troutman. Talk to me, Johnny. You pick up the radio.
They're all gone, sir.
Rambo, are you all right? Over.
Baker team, they're all dead. I'm the last one, sir.
It's good to hear your voice, Johnny. It's been a long time. Look, John, you've done some damage here, but they don't want trouble anymore. That's why I've come. I'm gonna come in there and fly you the hell out, just you and me. We'll work this out together. Is that fair enough?
Where'd you come from, sir?
Bragg.
I tried to get in touch with you, but the guys at Bragg never knew where to find you.
Well, I haven't been spending much time there lately. They've got me down in D.C. I'm shining a seat with my ass.
I wish I was back at Bragg now.
We'll talk about that when you come in.
I can't do that, sir.
Look, John, we can't have you running around out there killing friendly civilians.
There are no friendly civilians.
But I'm your friend, Johnny. I was there with you, knee-deep in all the blood and guts. I covered your ass more than once. Seems like bailing you out of trouble is getting to be a lifetime job for me.
There wouldn't be no trouble except for that king shit cop. All I wanted was something to eat, but the man kept pushing.
Well, you did some pushing on your own, John.
They drew first blood, not me.
Look, Johnny, let me come in and get you the hell out of there. Trapman keeps trying to talk to you. But you've put the radio down to think. Rambo, are you still reading me? Covey leader to Raven. Rambo, acknowledge. Okay. Choices. Come out of the cave and let Troutman fly you back to Fort Bragg. That doesn't sound right. Or, you're going to give them a war they won't believe. Alright, so back to Bragg, or...
They drew first blood.
I think we do. They drew first blood. Alright. They drew first blood. Troutman keeps talking, but he just doesn't understand. You turn the radio off so you don't have to listen. You turn the radio off so you don't have to listen to him carry on, and you can get some rest. You're out gathering firewood the next morning when you hear the sounds of police. You stealthily investigate and spot the National Guard moving into the woods. There are a lot more of them, and they're heavily armed. Sounds bad. Even at a quick glance, you can tell you won't be able to repeat your previous tactics. There are just too many of them, and they're better equipped and better trained. They spot you and start firing. You flee back to the abandoned mine that you've been using as home base. You take cover behind a shaft as they shoot into the mine opening, and you lay down suppressive fire of your own to keep them from entering. It's a standoff. As you aim down the rifle barrel at a guardsman who foolishly exposed his head, you have a sudden cold realization. You don't want this. Slowly, you lean away from the cave entrance and take your finger off the trigger. You're not sure what you'll do next. You've been living on instinct and training for over a day now, but killing a lot of weekend warriors isn't going to be it. While you're considering, you hear one of the men giving orders to another, punctuated by a distinct metal-on-metal sound. It's one that you know well. Someone is prepping a portable anti-tank weapon. You peer out of cover and see one of the guardsmen taking aim at the cave entrance with a bazooka. Desperately, you race deeper into the cave. You hear the whoosh of the weapon firing, and then the whole place lights up, then darkness. You're not sure how long passes before you gather your wits. You might even have been unconscious for a while. The cave entrance has certainly collapsed, and there's no light coming in. Eventually, you start a fire with a survival match you kept in your knife's hilt. You light some rags and make a makeshift torch, using some paint thinner you found in the mine as fuel. You decide to head deeper into the mine, hoping to find another exit. Even with your torch, it's dark, and much of the tunnel is flooded. You press forward into the gloom, wading through stagnant water, not even sure there's an exit. But the alternative is to surrender to despair, and you can't do that. You won't, so you keep going. Time. You have no idea how much passes in the dark. Suddenly, you feel a terrible pain in your right shoulder. Oh, great. Do I get a wound again? like many dull blades ripping into your flesh. Looking down, you see a large rat clinging to your arm. Ooh, something to eat. Biting deep into the meat. You hear chittering all around you and the sound of countless tiny bodies hurtling toward you. Okay, what do we do? Choices. These vermin are famished. You must be the first sign of food they've seen in a long time. You don't want to be part of this. Get out of there quick. So shake them off and run. Or rats. It just had to be rats. They must be exterminated. Kill the rats, all of them. Great. Will one of these lead to a wound? Well, when we fought dogs, that led to a wound. I think run away from the rats. I don't want a wound. Alright. Shake them off and run. 5 or 6 rats, you can't tell how many, are riding your back as you wade through the flooded tunnel. With barely any room to move, you know fighting the rats is the wrong choice. You rip off as many rats as you can and toss them in the water, always moving forward. But more fall on you and keep biting. Ugh. Don't want a wound. You reach a cul-de-sac where dozens of rats stare at you hungrily. Great. In the torchlight. They're obviously tired of being cannibals. You wave your torch around to keep them back. But it gutters as it runs low on fuel. Gutters? So you climb up the wall and find a ledge where they can't follow. That's good. Your quick evasion saves your life. Exhausted, bloody, and weary. You eventually crush or burn enough of the rats to drive off the rest. They'll have to find another meal. Can I eat the ones that I killed? Heal a wound with some rat meat. Turn to Chapter 11, The Long Haul, on page 30. Okay. Well, not dead yet. That's good. All right, The Long Haul. Aching from rat bites, you keep wading through the muddy water, trying to find a way out. Eventually, you find a ladder leading upward and can see sunlight beaming down from the top. Climbing out of the cave, you emerge on a grassy hill, looking down over a road. You see a convoy of National Guard trucks driving by. Sneaking through the grass, you get close to the last truck in the convoy and jump onto its roof. You force open the passenger side door and slide into the cab. The driver, some kid, looks shocked as you enter. All right, what do we do? 2 choices. First choice, this has gone on long enough. You tell him that you don't want no trouble and never wanted no trouble and just want to surrender. No way. Second choice, hijack the truck. Teasel drew first blood, but you're going to end this. Hell yeah. Steal the truck. We're not going to surrender. Steal the truck. You put your knife to the kid's chest as he's lighting a cigarette.
Don't look at me. Look at the road. That's how accidents happen.
The kid drives on nervously.
What's your name?
Cathart? 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 I don't know. Cathart, Robert A.
What have you got in the back, Robert A?
M60? Ooh.
Okay, Robert A, get out of the truck.
Please, I got no beef with you. Rambo voices. Drying out the throat. Need some beer. And a fresh one. Okay. Where were we? Where were we?
Please, I got no beef with you.
He's right. You don't care about this kid. You open the driver's side door, toss them out, and tell him to go home. His weekend war is over. Acquire gear, M60 Machine Gun. Okay, M60 Machine Gun. 2 range, so yeah, can hit people from a long distance. 2 targets, 4 damage. It says it's a heavy weapon. It occupies 2 gear slots, so if I can only have 3 gear, it's this and one other thing. I would think bulletproof vest. Or maybe the knife, but if you have not moved this turn, when you attack with this weapon, your attack has +1 target. Okay, so if you haven't moved, well, if you don't move during the turn, because after you use this weapon, you may not move again this turn. So if you don't move in the turn, you can actually attack 3 targets for 4 damage each. All right. Sounds good. Acquire M60 Machine Gun. Turn to Chapter 12. A war you won't believe. Great. More chances to take wounds. What's left here? Still a few pages. As you drive back to town in the National Guard truck, you hear sirens. A pair of deputies in a police car are chasing you. You drive them off the road, flipping their car over. Where'd I go? Their gas tanks ignite, or their gas tank ignites in a small but resounding explosion. That'll stop them from chasing you. You leave them behind and make your way back toward Hope, picking up speed. Ahead of the bridge into town, a few state police have set up a roadblock with their cars in a loose V formation. They're behind cover and ready to fire. Where'd I go? Yeah, the roadblock. They're behind cover and ready to fire on your truck as you approach, but a few cop cars are no match for a military truck bearing down on them. With a huge crash, you drive right through their roadblock, right over one of their cars. They fire a few shots before scattering to safety. No gunshot card? You drive over the same bridge where Teasel dropped you off just a few days ago. You see the town's one gas station ahead. Instead of slowing down, you speed up. You crash right into one of the fuel pumps, ripping it from its pipes, gas geysering everywhere. You get out of the truck, grab the M60 from the back, and toss a lighter that you took from the kid soldier right into the gas. Well, I had a lighter anyway. The whole station ignites into a fireball from hell, like the napalm you used to see burn your enemies down. The explosion could be seen from miles around. The sheriff has to take action. He uses a loudspeaker to declare a police emergency and commands all citizens to evacuate the streets. Civilians scatter, running indoors, getting out of harm's way. You need to get to Teasel and finish this. He's holed up in the police station, probably on the roof, waiting for you to show yourself so he can take you out. You're going to give him his war he won't believe. You're going to make sure this town never forgets what they did wrong. This town is going to pay for their sheriff's mistakes. All right. So, let's see. I don't remember where Rambo confronts Teasel in the movie. Is it like a some kind of store with like a sporting goods store with weapons and stuff? I don't remember, but he doesn't kill him. All right, let's see. Choices. Walk down Main Street and openly challenge Teasel to settle with you man to man. That doesn't sound like a good choice. Cause mass destruction. Cause mass destruction. Where we go? Around the town, creating a distraction that will occupy all the cops and guardsmen. All right, so raid the town. Option C, you see a hotel nearby that looks like a good place to bunker down. The people there could be used as leverage. Hostages? No. Or, you know Troutman came to town to get you out of this. Maybe he can get you out clean. So, find Troutman. Alright, I don't want hostages, and I'm not gonna just walk down the street and challenge the sheriff. That sounds stupid. Alright, so raid the town, or try to find Troutman. Let's raid the town. Finding Troutman might be bad. And raiding the town, well, that's causing mayhem and destruction. That's the movie, so we'll go with that. Alright, raid the town. A small town like this doesn't stand a chance against John Rambo. Moving from shadow to shadow, you line up your shots on the main power transformers connected to businesses all around town. M60 fire echoes throughout the empty streets as the transformers spark and catch fire. The area grows dark. You duck down another alley and take aim at the local bank, lighting up the entire storefront. From his vantage point up high on the police station, Teasel's looking this way now. Not at your next destination, the hunting store. Ah, yeah, there we go, the hunting store. So yes, a shop with guns. You run back down the alley toward the bright neon sign advertising the outpost and open fire on the front doorway, blowing holes through the wall. You kick the door into splinters and rush in. You set down the M60, no, I don't want that, and tear open the ammo stores. You pile up all the bullets you can, ripping the shelving unit off the wall, throwing thousands of rounds into the center of the room. You grab barrels of black powder and throw them on top of the ammo pile, then pour a trail of powder to the front entryway. You use your M60 to light it before running off. Oh, we're not going to take all the guns? The barrels ignite, and a mountain of bullets start popping off in all directions. It sounds just like a firefight. Then the entire store explodes, as if a comet hit it from outer space. By then, you're already flanking the police station, hiding behind a dumpster. At first, you can't spot Teasel up on top of the station, but when a secondary explosion lights up the outpost, he pops his head up from behind the cover for just a moment. You immediately open fire on the police station, sending hundreds of rounds through the windows, turning the offices in a shower of shattered glass and drywall. You target the police station sign, bursting light bulbs and sending sparks and fire to the sidewalk below. It's time for your final face-off with the asshole sheriff. You will end this once and for all. Ooh, sounds like the end. Turn to Chapter 13, Showdown with Teasel, on page 34. Okay. Showdown with Teasel. Sheriff Teasel is on the roof of the police station with a rifle. And you have neutralized all other obstacles between you and him. He is overwhelmed, and you have to jump on him. All right. So what do? 3 choices. Get the best strategic spot on the police station and finish this quickly. So take him down. Lure him off the roof and then take him in close combat and lure him out. Or give Teasel a fair fight in a final shootout. Turn to Mission 7, Assault on the Precinct, on page 36. I believe that would be the movie way of doing it. And I go to a mission, which means I won't have to worry about possibly getting another wound before it happens. And he doesn't kill Teasel. So, alright. So I think maybe give Teasel a fair fight in a final shootout. At least I don't think he kills Teasel. Okay. So yeah, turn to mission 7. Alright, so just Teasel. Why all this space? It's completely unnecessary. Alright, Teasel. That's Teasel. Alright, but he does 4 damage each turn. That's gonna be bad. Now, before the mission starts, I'll have my gear. Before the mission starts, I get to... Gonna have to end this quickly, because I'll get to take off 1 wound. Well, I have 3 rounds. Well, no, 2 rounds. When Teasel takes his 3rd turn, it'll be over. So yeah, has to be done in 2 rounds. Now, unfortunately, the M60, it has 2 targets. I would think that means you have to shoot this, that can't be the same target. But the 4 damage it does is really only 2 to Teasel. So it'll take 5 hits without doing anything that boosts damage. Well, I have 2 Valor points. That can give me 2 extra damage on 1 shot. But yeah, I have to do it in 2 rounds. Because I can only take 9 damage, and Teasel does 4 each turn. Alright, well, hopefully I get some good tactics cards. I think for the most part, I've pretty much done what's in the movie, although some of that might be wrong. I remember the dogs. I think he killed them with a knife. Well, I didn't have the rifle. I'm pretty sure he shot Galt in the helicopter. No, wait, the helicopter crashed. I think. Oh, no, wait, I think he shot Galt in the shoulder and then Galt fell out of the helicopter. It was something like that. I kind of want to watch Rambo now. Been too long since I've seen it. Alright. Alright, okay, so 2 tactics cards. What do we get? Yeah, your worst nightmare? I don't need to be hidden. That doesn't really do me any good. I mean, all that can do for me is, well, the knife can do 2 extra damage if I use it while hidden. So, well, and Rambo gets to be on here. So yeah, your worst nightmare, I can be hidden. Just, that'll give me a couple extra points of damage. And I also got easy as breathing. Play at the start of your turn. Discard all your Valor. Each time you defeat an enemy, you immediately gain 1 extra action. There's only 1 enemy to kill. So this card's worthless. And I'm your worst nightmare. I don't know about that one. Alright, we're just going to put that there. Yeah, there's nothing obstructing view or anything on here. Well, I mean, it looks like you wouldn't be able to see from over here, but yeah, whatever. Okay. Briefing. You move to the police station and slowly make your way around the building. Sheriff Teasel has the high ground and spots you. He lines up a shot. Draw and resolve a gunshot. Well, good thing the one that gives a wound is already gone, because that would suck. Alright, so what's this going to be? Missed. Take no damage. Ah, you suck, Teasel. Okay, you're determined to finish this now and see what he's really made of. Alright, 5 rounds. Well, have to finish in 2 or I'm dead. Rambo set up. Heal 1 wound. Which one? The recovery won't get me anything. I need to recover. Well, I need to recover 4 health to be able to last an extra round, so that's not going to do me any good. On the run, the armor doesn't do anything. Teasel ignores it. And get 1 action. The movement doesn't really matter. So that one's not any good. Draw blood. 1 attack, 2 valor. Okay, yes, I want that one. In 2 rounds, I can get 3 total attacks and 4 points of valor. That's 4 extra damage to do. I think that's enough to take him out. Alright, let's see. Heal 1 wound, draw 1 tactics card. Oh yeah, that's right. I also have my bulletproof vest. So if I use that, that'll save. Oh, wait a minute. Let's go back on this. Bulletproof vest will save 2 points of damage. So Teasel's first attack will only do 2 damage. Okay, and then his second attack. And I just realized I haven't been doing this quite right. If it fills up to 5, the attack that filled it up doesn't do extra damage. So like if it's empty and you take a total of 6 damage, you shouldn't be left with 1 over. Have 1 left over. So I've been taking extra damage sometimes. Well, at least I've been playing wrong, and it hurts me rather than helps me. So I'm not making it easier on myself. All right, but leave that there. I think that shouldn't be there, but I have it there. Okay. Anyway, his first attack is only going to do 2 damage with the bulletproof vest. So then the second round, he'll do 2. I'll have 2 damage and 1 more wound, and then yeah, I only need. Actually, with the recovery, I can last and get a 3rd round in there. That's probably better than 2 valor. Because 2 turns, I'll have a whole extra turn. Now, the M60 does 4 damage. So that'll do 2 damage to him each time. Well, that's the same as having 2 more valor points. Yes, worth it. Oh, but I'm only going to be using the recovery once. Not using it every turn, because the guerrilla training, the 2 attacks, I need that. So no. I want draw blood. Gonna have to do it in 2 turns. Okay. Draw 1 tactics card. Be something good. Kill, period. I have not had this. Gain 1 armor, worthless. Each time you defeat an enemy, gain 1 valor, worthless. Jeez. Worthless cards. Alright, well, yeah, this can get me a little extra damage. I doubt there could have been a worse draw of tactics cards for this, though. Alright, I think it's still enough. I'll have 2 extra damage from that. And on my second turn, I'll have had a total of 4 valor. That's 6 extra damage, and shooting him 3 times. Yeah, he's dead easily. Alright, mission objectives. Defeat Sheriff Teasel. Special rules. Uh-oh. Sheriff Teasel is at an elevated position on the police station. While he remains in this position... Oh, he's like on the roof. I think you have to shoot the glass out from under him or something and make him fall. I think that's what happens in the movie. While he remains in this position, the following apply. Teasel does not move from his position. Teasel cannot be hit with melee weapons. Yeah. Teasel has +1 range. He already has 2 range. That's okay. I don't understand what that does. And +2 damage on all attacks. Oh, jeez. no, okay, it'll still be 2 rounds. His first attack will do 4 damage, but the bulletproof vest will keep that from happening. And definitely that's what I want. I don't care about the knife. I don't care about the revolver. Wait, what happens if you don't? Oh, that's right. You get an extra target if you don't move, but that's not worth anything. I'll put the gear over here. Okay, so his first attack will do 4 damage. That'll get nullified from the bulletproof vest, and then he'll do 4 again. That'll be a wound. And then as long as he's not on the high ground after... Well, as long as he's there. It doesn't say anything. Oh wait, mission triggers. Teasel takes damage for the first time. Move Teasel to an adjacent space. He is now at street level. He moves normally, can be hit with melee weapons, and loses his stat bonuses. Okay, alright. Yeah, that's fine, because then once he no longer has the high ground, then on the next round he'll only do 4 damage. That'll put me within 1 damage of dying. Oh, but when I take a wound, I'm going to have to do this one, so I won't actually get the extra valor. Yeah, so that didn't matter, because he's immediately going to give me another wound. Whatever. Alright. But, yeah, the first time I hit him, he'll drop down, and then it'll be fine. Okay. So, I think this should be no problem. Alright. Okay, turn 1, Teasel's turn. Well, as I said, he's going to shoot for 4 damage. That'll use up the bulletproof vest. Does nothing. And then the second time he does 4 damage. Oh, there's a wound. And that's draw blood. I need it. But, hey, that means both turns I'm going to get 2 actions, because I only have 1 stance left. Alright, that's it for his turn. Rambo's turn. He's going to pick Guerrilla Training. I don't need to move. So, M60. Yeah, I don't have the knife to do the 2 extra damage from being hidden, but if I use this and be hidden, I get 1 extra damage. So I'll use that, but then immediately I'm going to attack and I won't be hidden anymore. So, but the attack gets 1 extra damage, so that's 4. I'm going to use the 2 Valor tokens, so it's 7. He has 2 resistance, so he takes 5 damage. That's the first action, and then the second action, I'm going to shoot him again. But this time I only do 2 damage. But hey, he only has 2 health left. Alright, so turn 1 is over. He lost the high ground. Now he only does 2 damage per shot. And now he also moves. So he's going to shoot Rambo for 2 damage. He's going to move 2 spaces, and he'll move there. And he's going to... Oh, wait a minute. 1, 2... Oh, yeah, no, that's 2. Range 2, yeah, range 1 would be anything in here, and then range 2 is anything in here, or then 1 more space out, and that includes diagonally. So all these are 2 zones away for range. All right, so he moves there. Just making sure I didn't need to move first. Did not need to move. He's going to move there. He shoots Rambo again for 2 damage. Rambo is so close to death. 1 more point of damage, and he would be dead. Or he would be defeated. Maybe dead, I don't know. Alright. But now it's Rambo's turn. He gets 2 attacks again, and the first attack does 2 damage to Teasel. Goodbye. How about with Teasel's dying breath? He takes 1 more shot, and you have to resolve a gunshot card, and it's take 1 damage. Oh, That being said, good thing this missed. If this had been take 1 damage, that would have been enough to kill me. Although, as I said, I don't think I should have started that with any damage, because I think I was playing it wrong earlier. So I don't think it should have been as close as it ended up being on that mission. Whew, alright. So, Rambo's your worst nightmare, Teasel. You bastard. Alright, mission success. You drop the sheriff hard. As you approach, you can see he isn't dead. He still has that smug grin on his face, just like when you first ran into him outside town. You recall the things he said to you then. One thing is for sure. You made this town less boring. Suddenly, there's a familiar voice behind you. Troutman says, Rambo, Rambo, don't do it. Turn to chapter 14. You got that son of a bitch on page 38. He doesn't kill him in the movie, so I'm sure the choices are shoot him, don't shoot him. To do it correctly, we're going to not shoot him. But let's see. Chapter 14, you got that son of a bitch. Wait, that's what it said, right? Yes, okay. And, oh, last page, so this is it. You turn to see your old CO standing in the doorway. You hesitate for a moment. The shock of hearing that from him, the strain of the last few days. It's so much. You can barely register his words. Listen to me, Rambo. You have no chance. Drop your weapon. We're going to order a chopper in and fly you back to Bragg. The police and National Guard have accumulated outside. Someone takes a shot at you. Oh, great. No gunshots, please. You take cover, and it misses. Troutman yells for them to hold their fire, and after a brief exchange, they comply. Think about what you're doing. The building's perimeter's covered. No exits. There's nearly 200 men out there, and a lot of M16s. You did everything to make this private war happen. You've done enough damage. The mission is over. You understand? What? This must be Troutman still talking, but it is narration. This mission is over, you understand me? This mission is over. You look at him, barely comprehending. Look at them out there. Look at them. If you don't end this now, they're going to kill you. Is that what you want? It's over, Johnny. It's over. You realize the police station is surrounded on all sides. Teasel, still defiant, is at your feet. What do? You told Teasel to let it go. Told him you would give him the war he wouldn't believe. Well, this is war. Ending it as easy as breathing for you. So, yeah, ending A, cold-blooded. You just wanted to move on, to make peace. Anguished, you cry out. Ending C, this mission is over. Cold-blooded would be kill him. So, no. Ending A, ending C. Ooh, what about ending B? I wonder where that would have happened. Don't know. That's from options earlier. All right, this mission is over. All right, so this is it. Ending C. This mission is over.
Nothing is over. Nothing. You just don't turn it off. It wasn't my war. You asked me. I didn't ask you. I did everything I had to do to win, but someone wouldn't let us win. Then I come back to the world, and all I see are these maggots at the airport protesting me, spitting, call me baby killer and all that crap.
Rambo voice. Where are we?
Who are they to protest me? Who are they? Unless they've been me and been there and know what the hell they're yelling about.
It was a bad time for everyone, Rambo. It's all in the past now.
For you, for me, civilian life is nothing. In the field, we had a code of honor. You watch my back, I watch yours. Back here, there's nothing.
You're the last one of an elite group. Don't end it like this.
Back there, I can fly a gunship. I can drive a tank. I was in charge of $1 million equipment. Back here, I can't even hold a job parking cars.
You throw your heavy M60 through a glass door in the police station and crumple against a group of filing cabinets. Sobbing, you recount to Colonel Troutman, to Sam, about how you bled and fought and watched your friends die, only to come back to a country that hates you and a civilian life that you can't make for yourself. Eventually, he brokers terms of a surrender between you and the police outside. You come out of the police station in handcuffs, the colonel walking beside you, his army trench coat draped over your shoulders protectively. As the two of you march toward the waiting officers, you spare a contemptuous glare at Teasel, being tended to by paramedics. People like him don't understand. Can't ever understand. People like him don't understand, can't ever understand the road you've walked. But you're going to have to move past hatred of people like him if you're going to live, to heal. You will live. You'll find a way. You'll keep moving forward. You face some serious charges at a court-martial, but your military record, the fact that you surrendered on your own terms, and the good word of your friend Colonel Troutman get you a relatively light sentence, 12 years, hard labor. There's no trial in the movie. Wait, is there some text at the end of the movie that says something like that? I guess that's the case. In the stockade, you start putting all the things you faced behind you. Even start to make peace with some of the things you did and saw. In here, you know where you stand. The nightmares start to subside. A couple years later, Troutman comes by to pay you a visit. Rambo, First Blood Part 2. It's a long road, to be continued. So to be continued instead of game over. Continue your journey in Rambo, the board game, and play through the events of Rambo First Blood Part 2 and Rambo 3, also known as Rambo 2 First Blood Part 3. Yay, alright. Got it on the first try. Well, technically I restarted because I chose the very first, that one option that was, just keep walking and to the diner 30 miles ahead, and there you go. And it said game over. All right. So that's Rambo, the board game, First Blood. I didn't think I'd get through all that in just 3 hours. So I'm going to have to read up on the rest of Rambo and then so that I can play that. All right, so that's Rambo, First Blood. And I'm going to stop there because I don't know how to play the other part yet. All right, so that's it for now. Sayonara.